My name is Milani. How are you today?
I'm pretty good.
Are you
Thanks,
excited?
Milani. Oh yeah, I've been looking forward to this all week, all month, just my entire life, really.
Yes, you've been looking forward to this your whole life. Okay, so we have our assortment of sauces here. We have a green pepper sauce, jalapeno, famed yellowbird habanero sauce, cayenne pepper, ghost pepper, and another habanero. This is our last dab. So let's dive in. And then you have a gallon of milk here, if you want. Okay, try not. Last resort. Try and power through it.
I get you. 2%. It's nice to be working with professionals for a change.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, let's get started. Ready?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna. Actually, you should go first.
Thanks. I really don't know how much of this is
Go
recommended
for
or
it.
considered safe.
Just be confident. YOLO, actually. YOLO.
I'm not used to being able to smell my hot sauce.
There
Here you go, champ.
we go.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
No milk required.
Calm.
Easy money.
So were you a man of many colors before?
I mean, it's so hard to remember back into the dark times. I had different favorite colors that I appreciated. I probably didn't wear too much of a variety, but more than I do currently.
Yeah, how many years has it been at this point?
Well, that was 8th grade, so I would have been probably 14, maybe 13 if it was early enough. So that's what, 17 years? Half my life ago?
That is my whole That is my whole
Yeah.
All right, let's try our next sauce.
All right.
We have yellowbird habanero. I'm personally a big fan of this one. I could
Excellent.
drink it. I could
Can't
drink
wait
it,
to
truly.
join you.
Try it.
Thank you. I assume that's what the cups are for.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Hopefully that's not fatal. Here you go. Oh man. Okay. All right. Unexpected, but still tolerable. We got this.
Mhm. So, could you tell me a little bit about your favorite math proof?
Yeah. You talking favorite proof or like favorite results?
Favorite proof.
Just favorite.
Favorite.
Well, most mathematicians will say it's Euler's formula. So e to the ix being cosine of x plus I sine of x. Like it's wild. I'll tell you.
Do you have a favorite like underrated kind of sleeper math proof?
Underrated sleeper. That's a good question. I feel like building the quaternions out of the complex numbers, it's not that it's underrated by the people who know it, it's just not a lot of people know about it, right? You know, it's a little bit ahead of the curve, I guess.
Do you have like a hear me out math proof?
As in, like,
everybody hates.
Everybody hates it. I think that's just called like taking algebra 2.
Yeah. So our third one, Red Devil cayenne pepper sauce.
All right.
Go for it.
Thank you. Oh man. All right. The last one took me a little bit by surprise, so I'm gonna be a little bit.
Play it safe.
Yeah.
Be cautious.
Here you go. Let's see what we got. I can do a little more.
Yeah.
Want to do more? Yeah, we'll do it. Let's give these people a show. All right.
I might also. So, your newest project, Constructing Mathematics. Could you tell the viewer a bit about that?
Sure. Well, gentle viewer, constructing mathematics started as a project that was just meant to be some cool stuff you could do after taking Algebra 2, and then turned into a class that is everything I know about mathematics. So if I know enough about to help you with it, then you can learn it yourself if you take constructing mathematics. It's basically just a place for math nerds to do the math they want the way that they want to in a high concept but low stress environment. That's the goal anyway.
Is that like kind of a class that you wish you had had, kind of?
Well, that's the thing, man. Back in school, I liked math because it was useful, but I didn't understand that math was sort of. Wait, can I curse?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. So I didn't understand that math was badass in its own right until I got back here and started to teach. Like I was saying, I was still planning on doing physics, right? So back in high school, I would neither have had the aptitude or the attitude to really get much out of a class like that, but it's the kind of class where if I could go back and do it again with what I know now, it's the kind of thing that I would want to do. Just really independent and do what you want and learn what you want and be challenged but not like overworked.
If you had the opportunity to make your own class about physics, like what interests you the most, or I guess, or like what would you want to, just like not even like physics as like a whole concept, like
Sure.
physics 1 or whatever. Like if you could teach a class about one physics topic, what would it be?
That's a good question. One physics topic. It's kind of, I don't know if it's a specific physics topic, but it's a specific focus. I really like figuring out why stuff works, which is what drew me to physics. But there's so much in physics that especially as a high school student, and even as a college student, you just sort of take for granted. Like, here's a formula, here's how it works. We've seen it happen in the past, so it'll probably happen again in the future. Let's roll with it and see what happens. But I really like showing where all of these different physics rules come from. So like mathematically proving, okay, here's why this whatever dumb shit how bad can I curse on here? Cool. Whatever dumb shit we call the equations like VOTAD or Big Daddy or all that god awful stuff. Like here's where this comes from mathematically. That's the kind of thing I would want to do, is spend more time on the why and less time on the application, I think.
Would you ever consider like making another class, adding another class to the roster of like combining the two, like combining conceptual mathematical physics with very conceptual math, like?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, like I said, man, that's what constructing is. Like, what I know about physics, which is not as much as my degree says I should know about physics, but what I know about physics is, for the most part, in constructing math already. So like I said, that class is designed to be everything I know about math, and math is a very broad thing, which includes physics. So it's kind of already there, although it's a small part of it. I'd like to learn more and make it a bigger part of it, and then maybe it'd be a little more appropriate when I could fill it up with more things to actually have a class that sort of split between math and physics. That'd be cool, yeah.
What's, like in class, what has been your like favorite moment where you saw like a student like kind of tap into their inner mathematician or physician? Like, has there ever been like kind of where you saw like, oh, this kid, like?
Oh yeah, all the time, man. Like, it's really cool to be able to be here with students that are like genuinely interested in learning stuff, and like they're tired and they're overworked, so you don't always see that come through, and a lot of them lose it because they just burn out, and I get that. But when you put people in an environment and you surround them with what I hope are really cool things, if the person is interested and interesting enough, they're just gonna go for it, and that's awesome to see. And I see that all the time. Like, I've seen people sign up for units that they really don't know anything about, and they just learn about this new stuff, but on a level that's about the why instead of just here's the rule, do some practice problems, and you can just see them like get really, really into it and go way beyond what's required of them to sort of explore these ideas. Yeah, it happens all the time. We just gotta stop working y'all so hard, quite frankly.
Let's try our fourth sauce.
Yeah.
Ghost pepper.
Fantastic. Let's see here.
Really don't be shy. Really go for it.
If you say so. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Oh, okay. I have to stop. This is not a good idea. Man. That's not as rough as I was expecting, but it is rough.
So, as lots of people know, you did go to LASA when
Yeah.
you were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And now you come back as a teacher, right? What do you think? I know a lot of people talk about the bad things of LASA, like, students are very overworked. But what would you say is, like, a good thing? Like, what is the greatest thing about LASA?
So the greatest thing about LASA to me is pretty obviously the students. Like, as a very genuine example, like I said, just to be surrounded by people who may or may not be like too tired to give it their all, but like at their core on a good day do actually want to learn and like support each other and just learn about cool shit. Like, that's the best. Like, it's just the best. Like, talking to a class about stuff that they obviously don't care about is one of the worst feelings in the world. Like, what a waste for everybody, and everybody's sad. Like, it's so great to be here with actual students who are good, not just to like me as a teacher and to each other, but like they'll actually appreciate the content. And then I think that draws the second best thing about LASA, which is the teachers. Like, y'all are the reason why a bunch of really wonderful people want to work here despite like how hard it is to be a teacher, because y'all make it a hell of a lot less hard to be a teacher most of the time.
You ever get well actually?
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get that a little bit. You just gotta make sure you're smarter than everybody else in the room, which is basically impossible, but you can get it like 50-50 some of the time.
What would you say, like, working here for a while, however long, and going here, what would you say is the best way we can, like, in the future, kind of improve, I guess, like, student culture and I guess, like, academic culture with the school, coming from, like, a student's perspective and a teacher's perspective?
Yeah, so from my limited understanding, I have like zero social skills, so I may just not be cued into it if it does happen. But like, one thing that's nice about this school is generally people are just nice to each other. Like, given complete strangers, right? Like, people get mad at each other and they're mad at each other. But given complete strangers, you're not just gonna be a jerk to somebody for no reason, because like, why the hell would you, right? Y'all are smarter than that and more interesting than that. But like, I think the culture that does need fixing is, like you said, the academic one, right? I don't know how to fix it, and I don't know what causes it, and it may be too late, but if you ask me, I think that grades are like way overemphasized around here. Not only because emphasizing the grades, burns y'all the hell out, which like, again, takes away the best part of being at LASA in the first place. Also, it just leads to some really toxic shit. Like, you can be upset about your 90, but if you're vocally complaining to the class about your 90, like, you're officially being like an ass. Why are you doing that? This is that kind of shit.
Yeah. Like, kind of talking about, like, I know a lot of, like, coming as a student like that hears about my peers' grades all the time,
dude.
All
never
the time.
stops.
And like SAT scores and GPAs and all that. I feel like what I've noticed is generally, like, I feel like a lot of people kind of shy away from talking about it just because people know. But I think there are some people that will, like, really make it a big thing to, like, talk about their academic, like, shortcoming. And I feel like people will a lot of times just not be aware of how their words might be impacting.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think I'm in this weird position where I really try to treat all of y'all as, like, not equals, because like, you're not a teacher and I'm not a student, but like, with respect, right? Like, y'all may or may not be adults, or whatever word you want to use by whoever's definition, but y'all are more than responsible enough to make your own decisions, to like, good or bad, you can make them and you understand the consequences. Like, y'all can drive, like, holy crap, y'all can drive. Like, you can have a cell phone, for example, in my opinion. But like, I digress. I think the fact that I expect so much from y'all out of that respect also leads me to be very bummed out about that exact thing, right? Like, you can make the argument that, oh, well, surely the solution is let's talk to the students about the effect this has. But first off, no talk to every single student in the room has ever gone well. Like, when people go into that auditorium for advisory, like, I see what happens. But on top of that, like, I feel like we shouldn't have to, like, y'all are more than responsible enough to understand the damage that this does. So to an extent, sometimes I feel like maybe just the culture overwhelmingly has changed, and that is what people want, and maybe that's just, I'm not a part of that culture anymore, which is super sad. Like, I don't want that, but, it's hard to know what people want when you have a situation like that, it's just everywhere. But I can't tell if it's everywhere because people want it, or it's everywhere because people think it's necessary. It's hard.
Have you noticed that like, dynamic, I guess, or culture has changed since you've been here?
So people were focused on grades when I was here, but like I said, I have like no social skills whatsoever, and even fewer when I was in high school. So like I was not cued into what most people were talking about, but people were concerned about grades. I applied to like 3 colleges, which I thought was a lot, but like clearly that's not the case for most people. So I'm the wrong person to ask, but it seems LASA has gotten harder, which is maybe part of the problem. And at the same time, I think there has been more and more of an emphasis on grades, which really bums me out.
Before we even dive in, do you think we will be opening this carton of milk?
I'm gonna do my best not to open the carton of milk.
We're not even touching it?
I'll try. I can only give you my best shot.
Okay, let's go. Go for it.
All right, and as such, I've been trying to hold back a little on the previous ones, but like
I
that
think
was
you gotta
mainly
go for it.
Yeah, that was just to
You
be
gotta
prepared.
Go for it.
All right, let's give it a shot. 31's old enough. Let's see what happens. I didn't even know that was a possible taste for things to have. Okay.
This one's a bit of a kicker.
Yeah, it just... yep. Yes, it is. I think I'm all right, though. We'll see.
I'll let you stew in it.
Yeah, I think I'm okay. All right. We're all right.
Ready?
Probably.
So, I've not been in one of your classes, but something I have heard is that something that you do at the end of the year is you show your UT like student ID.
Yeah, you can see why I didn't have any social skills.
So, the picture that you
It builds, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Please continue.
So, wait, the picture that you show is a very different Mr. Laughead than the one that a lot of students know, right?
Than the one they know, yes.
How did you get from there to now? How would you say you have changed as a person?
So, it's weird because students will talk about me and they'll say like, oh, I'm really this or really that. And I do try to be very this or very that, but I often feel like I'm a very like pessimistic and negative person, which I think is reflected in that ID. For what it's worth, I thought I was smiling, like I was genuinely trying to smile for that photo. That didn't work out. I think I have changed a lot, not in what I believe. Like a lot of that pessimism is still there that caused whatever the hell face I was making at the time. But I think it's just so much easier to live with it when you're doing something you love. Like, in high school, I couldn't appreciate a lot of what is good about LASA for whatever reasons, both personal and what was around me. And in college, things were just even worse. I was just unhappy all the time. But, like, getting to here, this is where I wanted to be for, like, the majority of my life before like college, right? Like pretty much as soon as I got to LASA, I was pretty sure I wanted to come back. So being able to be back and doing something that, first off, I don't feel like I'm failing at all the time like I did in high school or college, but also being able to work with people that like really give me a reason to give my all and like want to come to work, that helps a lot. In other words, I don't think I've changed that much, but it's so much easier to show different parts of myself that were buried when I have these people to share it with.
I definitely think, yeah. Do you think like environment really impacted how you were able to like, I guess, feel about yourself? Like,
I definitely think so. Like I still, every time I set foot on UT's campus, I get bummed out and depressed and mad. I think environment's a big part of it. But that's not just external stuff, right? Like by the time I got to Algebra 2 in LASA, I felt like I was bad at everything, or at least everything that I cared about. I wasn't very good at physics. You can ask Mr. Olin, well, that wasn't physics, but Olin Ichik taught me chemistry, barely passed that.
barely passed all my math classes from there, was struggling with physics, like all this stuff I was supposed to be good at based on what I wanted to do. I just wasn't, and that's just so hard to live with. So if you count that as environment, I think it's a huge part of it. You don't even have to change as a person. If what's happening around you is different, you're gonna feel so much different.
It builds when you don't talk.
Sorry?
It builds when you
I
don't
know,
talk.
right? Please give me more give me more stuff to say.
What would you say is like the best advice you would like to give to your former self?
To former self, I would say you can still be right while being pleasant. Like, I was very much a jerk to a lot of people. Not to be a jerk, but as like a side effect of trying to like, ooh, I'm gonna help make you a better person, which is a very like lofty thing to say. Like I said, it's part of why I treat students the way I treat them. Like, first off, y'all are responsible enough, like, y'all don't need me to tell you what's right. And also, I've been telling people what's right, and they've been disagreeing with me, and I've come to decide, like, I still believe that I know what's right, but it doesn't really matter what I believe compared to what other people believe. So I would tell my past self, you need to, like, lay off other people, like, focus on yourself. You need to actually go ask for help when you need it, because otherwise the next however many years, depending on when I meet my former self, are just gonna be miserable. Like, you can get better at this stuff, and you will get better at this stuff. It's gonna be all right, but maybe it doesn't need to take as long as you're making it take. Like, go get some help and go be like supportive of other people so they can be supportive of you, instead of like the opposite of that. It's just gonna make everything worse.
Speaking of like beliefs, have you ever had, I guess, like discourse with a student, or like maybe like an argument between a student that has changed what you've thought about something, whether it be about like life generally, or just even like your subjects?
Yeah, I think there's a lot, but to put a pleasant one in the spotlight, my first year teaching Algebra 2, when I was planning to teach physics next year if I could, I had a student, he wasn't even my student, he was just a dude named Chris, I think his last name's pronounced Shiramekin, but it's hard to spell, so I'm not sure. But he came in and just wanted to talk about AMR, which everybody should take if they are interesting, like, it's an awesome class. And he just like showed me all this wonderful stuff that math could do that did not necessarily have an application. It does, but like that wasn't why we were doing it, right? So like coming back to LASA and being able to understand math felt good because I hadn't understood it for so many years. It was awful. But then on top of that, being able to like truly love math for more than just a tool to do physics with was just a really wonderful thing. So I think that conversation of just him showing me like, look at all this cool stuff I'm learning. No, what do you mean application? Like, I'm just learning math. Like, why do I need an application for it? And just I had tons of fun with that. And that's like that class, and more specifically that conversation, is what made me love mathematics instead of just appreciate it as a tool.
Yeah. Would you say like you've ever had someone that's inspired you to change the way you taught your lessons? Because I know a lot of teachers and a lot of schools will kind of have a set curriculum and how they want you to approach a certain subject. Have you ever had someone that's been like, wow, this kind of changes how I think about this kind of changes how I want to teach it to people?
Yeah, so plenty, to be honest with you, but probably the ones that most come to mind are my mentor teacher, and I got to do my student teaching at LASA too, which was awesome, but my mentor teacher was named David Page, and when I was a student, and I still feel this way, to be honest with you, I didn't want, like, I just wanted lecture. I just wanted, give me the information, not because, like, I don't want to think about it, but because surely that's the most efficient way of getting me this information so that I can continue to think about it. And a part of me really still likes that, but the way pretty much all of the faculty here, I first learned about it through my mentor teacher, David Page, but all of the faculty are just, they don't really do that because it doesn't, I mean, it works, right? But it takes a lot of the joy out of that discovery of mathematics, which, again, maybe that's why I never fell in love with it earlier, on top of just being bad at it, right? But like, I think the way that the LASA math department then and now teaches math of like, no, our goal isn't to like give you a bunch of information so that you can go use it in the way we told you to, because math isn't just a tool. Our goal is to give you a bunch of ideas that you can then think about and then do whatever the hell you want with it, which hopefully includes like being able to use it productively for other sciences or whatever. But like the idea of exploring math rather than just like sharing what you know and then testing them on how much they took in about what you know was really formative, I think.
And you touched on this briefly, but like, do you think going back, a different, like, more hands-on approach to math would have helped you, like, would have changed?
Yeah, that's hard to answer, man. Like, all of this advice that I would give my past self and like current students, I don't think I would have taken it, and I still don't know if I would have taken it. Like, my 7 years of my academics, I wouldn't say they were wasted or anything, but they were slowed the hell down because I wouldn't ask for help. I still struggle to ask for help. If I have friends around who are like willing to work on it with me, then I'll share it as like something fun to do. But if I was like gonna go back to college today and I would struggle with a math problem, I don't know if I could bring myself to go into office hours. Like, that shit's hard. Like, I totally get why a lot of my students who are struggling for the same reasons I did still aren't fixing it. Like, it's really hard to get over that hump. So I don't know if something like a more exploration approach would have worked for me at the time, partly because, you know, lots of students are busy. Like, exploration takes a lot longer than just ingesting that knowledge as it's given to you. Like, I don't know if it would have been effective for me. And also just because I wasn't that good at math. Like, you need a certain level of aptitude to actually start exploring it in a meaningful way, or at least to do that while you are also responsible for like test scores and boring shit like that, right? So I don't know if I would have been ready for that, and I think even today a lot of it I would reject. Like, personally for me, math's really individualized. Like, I don't want to work collaboratively, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. I just want to have an idea and just play with it, you know what I mean? But I don't think past me would have liked that. I think past me was just desperately trying to survive, and they wanted those lectures, you know what I mean? So yeah. I think if you went back far enough before like things started unraveling, I think absolutely. But if in high school, it might have been too late, and I just had to go through that gauntlet I went through to actually get to where I am and enjoy it.
So for any of our dear student viewers, as a teacher, what would your parting gift of advice to be if someone's, you know, struggling for help, as you've noticed in your years of teaching?
Yeah.
What would your best bit of advice be for them?
Man, all I can say is if you need help, you need to make sure you get it. I don't blame you if you don't, because I've been there, and you can still be successful. If you call me successful, I feel like I'm successful, but you don't have to think I'm successful. Whatever. You can still do what you want to do, and this is what I want to do, successful or otherwise. But it's gonna be rough. Like, from experience, get that help you need. Ask for help, because people are good. Like, you can get what you need from others, and they can get what they need from you. Like, help each other. Take care of yourself. Don't just focus on grades all the damn time. Like, learn for its own sake. Get the help you need because you want to learn, and otherwise, like, do stuff that you care about and that rejuvenates you. Like, there's so much more to your life, both while you're in school and after, than the grades that you're making. Like, they can be fixed, and they won't matter as much compared to something like what you learned and the connections you made with people and with ideas. So do what's good for you, and if you know what's good for you and you're still not doing it, maybe reconsider, because I've been there and it's not a good call.
How are we feeling?
Better, but I don't know if I'll go out and buy any of that stuff.
What?
I know, right?
I know Hot One's the last dad hates to hear that. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Of course.
For going through this.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. I hope
Agreed.
you have the greatest rest of your school year. Great rest of your career.
Well, thank you. I've got the weekend to recover, so hopefully that's enough.
Bro.
Yeah. Just smash the fuck out of that like button.
Absolutely demolish that subscribe button.